Hey everybody, I'm Lorraine, owner of pregnancyexercise.co.nz, exercise and wellness specialist. I've been in the industry for more than 25 years now, and today is the fourth event in our lockdown series, which is going through different aspects of pregnancy and postnatal. Today we're going to be discussing exercise and wellness in the first 6 weeks, concentrating on the first 6 weeks postnatal. We will extend out a little bit up to 12 weeks, but basically we're really going to focus on exercise, wellness, nutrition, looking after mum and baby in those first 6 to 12 weeks, because that's what's often missing. We're seeing a lot of lack of support at the moment due to COVID and mums being in lockdown. So again, it's a little bit different. We're not maybe seeing our midwives as much as what we would do during that time. So we do feel lacking in some support. We also can't connect with family members, parents, sisters, etc. So it is a testing time anyway, the first 6 to 12 weeks postpartum, but made more so at the moment for the situation that we're all enduring, this very, very unique situation, which we're all going through at exactly the same time. So if you have any questions, please place them in the comments, and if I see them, I will get to them as we go through, or I will go through all the questions if there's quite a lot of them at the end. Okay, what you can also do, all those who are watching now, let me know if you're pregnant, how many weeks postpartum you are, so we can start to make things a little bit specific for you guys. So this workshop today, the fourth in the series, is perfect if you're pregnant or just had a baby. So make sure you like and share this with your pregnant family and friends. All right, so what happens? You've just given birth to your beautiful baby, and how are things feeling? How's your body feeling? How's your mind feeling? It's going to depend how many days and weeks you are postnatal. Does everything feel quite loose in there? Is there any pain? Is there any discomfort? Are you quite surprised at maybe how well your body has coped after birth? And throughout this section today, I want you to remember that it's taken your body 9 months to go through those changes, where you've been adapting and modifying all your exercise throughout those 9 months. And then we've just endured the giving birth process. All right, so how is giving birth going to affect our recovery? What do we need to look out for? What are the signs? What is the first exercise we can do? Okay, now, we know at 6 weeks, we go to the doctors, we get a 6-week check, and we often are led to believe that 6-week check tick is the green light to go back to our pre-pregnancy exercise. We're definitely not ready for that. And you can start exercising way before the 6-week mark, because if you wait for 6 weeks, your body's actually getting weaker in the process. All right, so when we're pregnant, what happens is everything's stretching. Okay, so all these muscle ligaments are all stretched as we go through the pregnancy, small bump or even a big bump. Everything is stretched, all those connections all stretched up. But the thing is, when we're pregnant, we have baby in there. Hopefully they've come out this way. Okay. So baby is in there and acts as a false support. All right. So we think, okay, through our pregnancy, because everything feels really tight and feel really strong, even our pelvic floor muscles have got used to that, that weight of baby. Okay, that's a great photo, isn't it? So that it's got used to the weight of baby, it's stretched and it's adapted to the pregnancy. So we feel good, we feel strong, and we feel connected. But then when baby comes out, exactly that, how my t-shirt is, everything is relaxed and more stretchy. So it's really important that we start to connect to our deepest core muscles very soon after you've given birth. And this is safely so, okay? Little bit different. We will go through C-section, forceps, episiotomy, okay? When are the best ways and at what point you can start to exercise. Yes, we're going to bring up some C-section, absolutely. All right, so just given birth. No drugs, maybe gas, etc. Minimal touring. You may like to start to think about your pelvic floor muscles and how to contract them when you get a shower. You know, when you walk up, oh, can I just contract my pelvic floor muscles? Let me see how they feel. That's what I did after my second and third. You know, I just wanted to see if I could still contract them, and I'm going to teach you after this little bit how to connect with those pelvic floor muscles, because after any vaginal delivery, they're the first muscles that you start to connect with. Post a C-section, it's a little bit different. Okay, so if you've been pushing baby out for a long time, had possible forceps or ventouse and episiotomy, you're going to have quite a bit of damage and scar tissue there, okay? So there's an increased blood flow, and when you've got an increased blood flow, it's hard for your brain to connect with those muscle groups. So don't start trying to think about your pelvic floor muscles until the soreness is gone, all right? So that's another tip. Post a C-section, for your connection, once again, generally after 5 to 7 days, you can just see if they're working. You know, again, start with your contractions. So quite soon after, but your transverse, those of you who have a C-section, your transverse abdominals become more important, because often with a C-section delivery, there is minimal damage to the pelvic floor muscles. So they can often be firing up as they were pre-pregnancy. So you don't need to overthink about those. Those who've had a C-section need to focus on the transverse muscles more. Everybody who's had a vaginal delivery, you need to start doing your pelvic floor lifts as soon as you think about it, and doing 2 lots of what we call the 10 reps 2-2 breathing a day. And once you've got your pelvic floor muscles nicely activated, then you guys start to think about transverse. Then we put them together. Then we start with your movement, right? So if any of you have got a ball now, this is for everybody, okay? Great to do when you're pregnant as well, all right? Especially for all those who've had a baby. If you're still feeling a little bit sore, if you've got any scar tissue, just place a towel underneath, and you can do this. I showed this in one of the pregnancy pelvic floor on Monday. A great way you can do this is on the arm of your couch and put a cushion in between. It gives you the same sort of effect. Okay, so sitting quite wide, and think about being nice and deep. And now I'm sitting up, because this is not a good position, everybody, for connecting with your pelvic floor muscles. It's not good for the brain to try and connect with them there. We need to think about lifting up and ribs and hips stacked. So I just want you to think nice and relaxed at the moment. When we take a deep breath in, I want you to feel your pelvic floor muscles relaxing. Okay, and now as we exhale, I want you to think about picking up a raisin with your fanny and feeling that frontal contraction for 1, 2 exhalations. Breathe in, let it relax. Ready, everybody? Exhale for 2 seconds. Exhale 1, and lift up for 2, and breathe in and let it relax. So you should feel this. We say it's a jellyfish. So postnatal jellyfish is 1, 2, down 2. 1, 2, down 2. Okay? If there is any pain there, any uncomfortable control, any feeling that you need to go to the toilet, You need to talk to your midwife and your physical therapist. Hopefully we can get to the women's physical therapist soon when we're in maybe level 2 lockdown, and you can talk to them to see where we need to go for your stage. But I'm going to tell you a couple more symptoms. That's the first exercise everybody who has a vaginal delivery needs to do and to start doing pretty much within the first week of giving birth. Okay guys, so if you can all remember that and start to do your contract and relaxations, that's the forefront of starting to recover your pelvic floor muscles to get you ready for any exercise you want to do further down the track. Okay, so 10 reps in the morning, 10 reps in the evening. Once you know you've mastered your pelvic floor muscles, you can feel them starting to contract. What you also need to make sure that you do as postnatal is feel that you can contract them from the front, okay? Because your pelvic floor muscles are like a sling. There's lots of pelvic floor muscles. Okay, so they all connect like a sling and connect from the front and connect rectum at the back, okay? Now, make sure, especially if you've had an episiotomy, that you can feel the lift from the front, okay? You may need to do what we call a back to front scoop lift. So if you're finding it hard to feel like I say pick up a raisin, but it's actually thinking about trying to stop a tampon from falling out. If you can't feel that frontal connection, think of a back to front scoop and that should help you. So think stop a fart, pick up a raisin, okay? And that scoop should help you get better control. All right. Now, I don't want to go too much into pelvic floor muscles because we could be here for half an hour talking about pelvic floor muscles. So this is the first part of your recovery, okay? That's the first exercise you need to do. We can also include stretching exercises, which are perfect for breastfeeding. You get so tense through your shoulders, through your neck muscles, even after delivery. You know, if you've had a 20-hour plus labor or you've been gripping onto everything, you can feel really quite sore for the next couple of days postpartum. So gentle stretching is going to help. Now, what you can start to do is, this is one of the stretches I suggest mums do every day. Now, do this with me. Take your right arm across, left arm underneath, hands together, ribs and hips stacked, and push away and lift up, eyes level, and feel that stretch through your shoulders, through your neck. Keep pushing your elbows away, drawing your shoulder blades down. Try and do this stretch every day, everyone. Change sides, okay, and repeat the same. The next stretch is what I want you to do. You can do it sitting down as well, okay, is your side stretch. So you reach up, you lift your rib cage up, push your hips down, and feel the stretch through the side, and repeat it both sides. So now you've got pelvic floor stretches, and we want to start you walking as well. Walking is a great exercise. Yes, I will come to a C-section as well. Let me know, guys, those of you who C-section, any specifics that you want to discuss. Okay, so these are all suitable for you as well. You go through the exact same. This is great for, 7 to 10 days post a C-section, post episiotomy, post forceps. Okay, you just need to really watch out. Those of you who've had the episiotomy, you can be quite sore here. Okay, so lying down might be better for you, and you can do your stretches there. For those of you who've had the C-section, sitting up is often better as well. You feel more comfortable in this position. All right, so we'll move on to a couple more exercises, but again, I just want you to make sure, and what we start to do is take and increase these exercises over the 6 weeks. So hopefully what comes next with pelvic floor is your transverse abdominal activation, and this is super important for those of you who've had a C-section, because when you've had a C-section, you have your C-section scar here, and the transverse abdominal muscles are pretty much in the same place. So it can be very, very hard to activate those core muscles because you've got a lot of scar tissue here, which is where your scar tissue massage comes very, very important. All right, that's going to help you with your next pregnancies as well. So really important that you do your C-section scar tissue massage, and I do always recommend that to mums, which again is often not recommended, and there's ways to show you and how to do that. Again, these are all quite separate videos which we can go through as well. We're going to take this series quite a fair bit further over the next couple of weeks, and this information of course is all on your Birth to Fit Mum programs. Okay, so activating your transverse. We've got videos on this, how to activate your transverse abdominals, because once you've got your pelvic floor going, transverse abdominals is key. If you're out walking, if you're picking baby up, babies put on weight quite quickly, okay, so you need that strength and support. So whenever you're lifting baby up, lifting up your shopping bags, putting baby into the car, you have an exhale and pelvic floor and transverse connection right through, pretty much right from the start if you can, everybody. So you know, they talk about no weights, etc. And when you come to me, I don't give anybody a 5 or 6 kilo weight to start with, but you're going to be walking out of hospital. Most babies are 3 to 4 kilos. Then you put them in a pod, 2 to 3 kilos. That's 7 to 8 kilos you're carrying with weak core muscles, less than good optimal functioning pelvic floor muscles out of hospital. So if you know, and you can have that pelvic floor and transverse activation when you're lifting baby up straight away, it's going to prevent any back and pelvic pain and possible prolapse later on also. All right, so everybody's on the same road now. Those of you who've had a C-section or medical interventions is a slower recovery. Okay, all right, so we've covered your initial exercises post-birth, what to be aware of with different types of birth. Obviously, depending on the speed of your birth, a birth with less interventions, you are going to recover quickly from. But in saying that, if you have a super fast birth, a birth which is generally less than 4 hours from start to finish, that's a big shock on your body. And that can take as much time to heal from one that is long, because things have happened really, really quickly. Body and baby, haven't really had time to adjust to it. And you can be quite uncomfortable with a lot of bruising, etc. So that type of birth can take the same similar amount of recovery and mental recovery as well. So what we need to factor as we progress over these next 6 to 12 months is the exercise you did in pregnancy. Okay, if you manage to keep up some form of exercise, and that does include walking. Okay, because we know that exercise you did in pregnancy will help to improve your recovery postnatal. You're more likely to get out and exercise, which also reduces postnatal depression. So getting out as soon as you can, even after a C-section. Now, C-section mums, if you can, go by yourselves first, so you're not pushing the buggy. Same again for episiotomy and forceps and ventouse, okay? So try and go for that gentle walk yourself, and your first walks you can start off at around the 15 to 20 minute mark, okay? So just an easy 15 minute, just go out around the neighborhood, see how everything feels, okay? Think about how things are feeling. Can you contract your pelvic floor muscles and transverse when you're out walking around? Again, be careful, don't go out and stride out straight away. Remember, everything is staying quite relaxed for some time postnatal, actually up to 3 months post-weaning. All right, it affects some of us more so than others, and I don't want to call it an instability, because we can start to increase muscle strength quite soon after baby, but our hormones are not really friends with increasing muscle tone, okay? So we need to work harder to improve our core and glute strength and posture postnatal for all those benefits. So you're starting to see now how you can start to exercise, or you should be seeing, over those first five days up to that 6 weeks postpartum. So what you want to focus on is core activations, stretching, walking, slowly building up. We build your exercises up, getting into functional exercise over those first 6 weeks to really improve that strength of your core and glute muscles. And remember, your glute muscles are your pelvic floor muscles' best friend. So what you have to think about is, when I was saying, you know, the exercise you did through your pregnancy, your goals for now, but also factor in for your recovery how you delivered, how your baby is. Some babies will sleep more than others. That's a big key. Your support system. We know our support systems are all very small at the moment, so that actually affects your recovery and also affects long-term recovery. Breastfeeding. Over these first 6 to 12 weeks, establish your feeding routine, okay? Now, whether that's breastfeeding in a bottle, or you've not managed to breastfeed, we all need to establish it, because mentally we're in a better place if we know babies are fed, well, satisfied and growing. That's the biggie. And then it's sleep deprivation also. And then not to mention the stress levels, your hormone levels, all those are key factors in your recovery. And what I like to do now is, like, if you set your base from week 1 postnatal to 12 weeks, you are going to recover so much better in the harder phases from 3 to 6 months, and then 6 to 12 months, because we talk about recovery and wellness in the first 12 months, okay? It's hard. It's not easy. Your pregnancy, unless you were very, very sick, had medical interventions, was probably much more, not enjoyable, but easier, okay? You would not second guess yourself time and time again, which is what, as new mums, you do. We second guess ourselves all the time. And one of the biggest tips I can give to you guys of new mums is try not to go believe your gut instinct. If you want to wrap baby up safely. Try and go with that gut feeling. If you want to hold baby long periods through the day, hold them for long periods during the day. That does increase the energy requirements, but the fitter and healthier you are, you can manage that, okay? And again, you can think about your core exercises when you're holding baby. They're not going to be wanted to hold forever. So rather than Googling, asking your friends, going onto different forums, for all this, just try and think it's mentally good if you can take a little bit more control, because we tend to take that away from new mums. You know, not only is it taken away sometimes in labor and birth, when we should ideally be in control, but it's, like I say, for those first 12 months, it's very hard on new mums. When you look back and you're pregnant with your second and third babies, you always say, yes, having one is easier. Having one baby is easier, but being a new parent is not easier because of that, because you second guess yourself. And all that stress will relate to how well you guys recover. So what I'm trying to say is, with your exercise, with our programs, the Birth to Fit Mum, we can get you back to not leaking. We can heal your Diastasis Recti. We can improve your core function. We can have you pain-free. We can have you leak-free, but it just might take a little bit longer. So if you're setting yourself a goal of, right, I want to be running 5Ks at 6 months, Okay, that's a possibility because you can start running safely back steadily with what I've gone through for those first 12 weeks. So building up your core system, building up your functional strength, gradually taking everything up. You can start on a program, and we do have a build to running program, postnatal, included in the birth to fitment program. So you get all that. You've got a program to help build through onto your impact. But let's say between that 3 to 6 months, we're all back out in the open world, baby's getting coughs and colds, sick, tiredness, and your exercise starts to go a bit more like this. So you might just need to move your goals out. So I'm saying set goals, but try and be flexible with them, all right? Try not to set anything too massive, like run a marathon. Let's not go there, okay? Set achievable goals and be ready to be flexible with them. Okay, now, Diastasis Recti, and I know I've nearly been on for 30 minutes. I can talk for hours about this postnatal 6 to 12 week mark. Okay, so your diastasis. When's the best time to assess Diastasis Recti? Best time is 2 to 3 weeks postpartum. That's because your uterus is contracted back down. You're no longer sore. You shouldn't really be too sore. Even for those guys that after a C-section, the soreness should have gone, okay? And you should have a big decrease in your pregnancy and postnatal fluid. All right, so that's the best time to assess your diastasis. I've got videos to do that. Please comment what you want to see, the transverse activation video, your diastasis video, because I can put them up for you. If it's your first baby, and we're going to talk a little bit more about Diastasis Recti on Monday. Monday's workshop is going to be focused on diastasis. All right, generally after a first baby, your diastasis is generally not that wide. Maybe 3 fingers wide, and often average, it's quite shallow in depth, but it will depend on how baby pushed out, increased pregnancy weight, maybe even the exercise that you did through your pregnancy, what you went through in labor and birth. Now at 8 weeks postnatal, your diastasis should have naturally healed. How cool is that? Isn't that amazing? The human body is amazing. Diastasis naturally occurs during pregnancy to accommodate a nice healthy baby, and then it naturally heals postnatal. All right, what we need to do though is remember the baggy situation. Everybody, even though you may have a minimal diastasis, and this is what I find, 100% of mums need to reconnect with those core muscles postnatal, regardless of the width of the diastasis. All right, so if you assess yourself, not got too much of a diastasis, okay, core exercises, rehab exercises, think about your posture to continue the healing, because you don't want to make it wider, which can happen. If you've got a wide diastasis, you need to get onto your exercise quite quickly, your posture, nutrition. Okay, we've not really touched on nutrition this morning, but your nutrition right from the day you've given birth is a massive factor in how you recover. Not only making sure that you're eating every 2 to 3 hours, it's what you're putting in. Okay, you're gonna be ravenous. When you first start to breastfeed your babies, you cannot stop eating. But and people say, you know, we don't want to think about weight. We don't want to make that an issue, okay? You have got enough fat on your body at the moment, unless you're sitting below 50 kilos, to increase your breast milk, to have enough breast milk. You need to increase your water, that 3 to 4 liters of water a day. Okay, so with your nutrition, everything's been pushed through, or it's either been, we've got a scar tissue to heal, protein. Protein is your building blocks postnatal. It's going to help you recover. If I could give you one tip, please, okay, make sure you have protein at every meal. So don't just have toast and jam. I know that's quick. Try and have toast and peanut butter. Okay, if you're having porridge, try and put some yogurt in there. Eggs are ideal, but generally we've not got time to do that first thing in the morning as new mums, so have those at lunchtime. All right, if you're having smoothies, you can make smoothies up in the evening, make double, give them a big shake in the morning. Smoothies, absolutely perfect protein recovery postnatal. All right, so instead of just grabbing an apple, grabbing a glass of juice, when you grab an apple, grab a good handful of nuts with that. When you're, again, crackers in the afternoon, get some cheese with it. Don't just go on your dips. All right, so let's start to think about really increasing those protein levels, because that's your cellular repair. And for those of you, so not only pelvic floor damage, internal damage, C-section damage, okay, so it is all damage with, you know, all the cells have been disrupted, they need to regrow, regenerate to get that healthy tissue back. Just lost what I was gonna say. Okay, we need that cellular repair, and really important if your diastasis is deep. So if you've not got a shallow diastasis and it's quite deep, then it's sitting like this. I can get my fingers in quite deep. We need a lot of cellular repair, which takes time for that diastasis to start to reduce its depth. All right, so a few keys, and I know I've been on here for a long time. I could honestly talk for probably an hour on each subject. All right, what I want you to have got out of this is, if you give birth tomorrow, you would know which exercises you can do straight away. So your pelvic floor and transverse. You can do some stretches. You can start to build on your walks. See how your body's feeling. Things should feel a little bit different, but not too different. Okay, some symptoms of prolapse, what you might not be aware of, is feeling like you're dragging. So there's a dragging sensation in your vagina. Feeling like you constantly want to go to the toilet, and then when you go, you can't empty out. If you feel any lumps or bumps, or if you see anything visual, any of those on the phone, you know, people talk to me and I just say, you know, at the moment, I know physiotherapists, women's pelvic floor physiotherapists are not working, but you can talk to them and we can get you on the right track. Often, those feelings like that can be just related to what we call hypertonic pelvic floor muscles that are too tight. But again, it can be in a mild, different stages of prolapse. And remember, we have 0 to 4, 4 being the worst. At 0 to 2, Birth to Fit Mum is perfect for you guys. Okay, so you can follow Birth to Fit Mum with the varying prolapses. If it's a 3 or 4, you need to work with a women's health physiotherapist first and then come on to the programs. Guys, let me know if you've got any questions. Again, I'm really worried about how long I've kept you all on today, and thanks for joining. Now, make sure, okay, now we have a special offer at the moment during lockdown, and I am going to increase the events in this series because we've got some really good follow-up events to do. So if you're not getting the events, if you're not part of our subscriber list, make sure you go onto the website and sign up for the newsletter or the 14-day free mum book blaster. But you can get a 30% discount, which is incredible value for the 12-week Birth to Fit Mum program. And you can join this during your pregnancy because it's really good, because you can read and look at all the information videos. So then when you come to start postnatal, you can start when you're ready and you know what you're doing. It's perfect program up to 3 years. It progresses you not only from a rehab level and not just focusing on pelvic floor and core, but full body. Okay, so we're reducing the aches and the pains that are caused from breastfeeding, from picking baby up. It's fully functional recovery exercise, and you build up through that, and we get you using weights and bands through the program, or you don't need to. There's cardio, safe cardio that you can do at home, and you know is not going to increase any pelvic floor muscle issues. There is a Get Ready for Run program. There's a Get Ready for Run strength program. So anybody who's looking to go back to CrossFit, F45, running, high impact body attack, that program's perfect for you and you mix it in with the main program. Okay, so if you go to the website pregnancyexercise.co.nz, use the coupon code LOCKDOWN for the next week, and that will get you 30% off any of the programs. And please let your friends and family know about that. Also, hope you've enjoyed today. Please give me a thumbs up and a like and a share, because we get out to very few people anymore on the Facebook pages just because of the algorithms. Any questions you want asking, let them know. I know I've not got any more questions up here. Hopefully we've gone through what everybody needs to go regardless of the type of birth. I will add in for you guys all the links, what we have discussed in the comments. And again, anything else, let me know. The next event in the series is Monday's diastasis, and we're going to talk really about closure. And then I'm going to do a return to running workshop also. All right. And then, you know, if you want to, maybe we'll do a stretch and a breastfeeding session as well. All right. Bye, everybody. Have a great day. Stay safe, everybody. I know there's people watching from all around the world. Look after yourselves. Mums, new mums, take care. You're not alone. Talk to people if you need to. Okay. Jump on those Zoom sessions. All right. Bye, everybody.